Hello, I'm Sam Pottinger, a senior data scientist at the Eric and Wendy Schmidt Center for Data Science and Environment at the University of California, Berkeley. Today we are thrilled to launch Kigali Sim, an interactive open source tool created to assist the Montreal Protocol treaty parties in regulating highly potent greenhouse gases such as hydrofluorocarbons. Kigali Sim provides unprecedented analytical and computing power for global decision makers to reach their environmental and climate goals. With Kigali Sim, users can simulate possible outcomes of policy interventions for greenhouse gas regulation. It is designed for those without programming expertise and can work in a web browser. No software installation is needed. Informed by over a dozen countries, Kigali Sim was developed by the Schmidt Center for Data Science and Environment and our partners at the United Nations Multilateral Fund Secretariat. Kigali Sim is free and open source and prioritizes each user's privacy. The tool does not share your simulations and data with anyone, including our development team, unless you specifically choose to do so. Explore the tool at kigalisim.org, and here's a quick demo of the tool in action. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Kigali Sim to make a small example simulation together. We're going to indicate to the tool that we're working on refrigeration, and we'll say that we're working in the domestic sub-application. Next, I'll indicate that we use HFC 134A and that this is an imported substance. I can also look up some other information about the substance automatically. Afterwards, I'll indicate some very basic information about the equipment. We'll say that there's 0.15 kilograms per unit for initial charge and that 5% of the equipment is retired annually. This corresponds to roughly a 20-year useful lifespan for our equipment. Next, I'll indicate some basic servicing information. We'll say that we recharge 5% with 0.15 kilograms per unit during all years of the simulation. I'll also indicate, maybe based off of some trade data, that we're importing 1 metric ton of this substance each year, starting in 2025. And then I'll also indicate, perhaps based off of industry surveys or socioeconomic modeling, that we expect our sales to increase 5% each year from 2025 to 2035. Now we have everything we need to run our first simulation. I'll go ahead and start up a business as usual scenario. And we'll say that it runs from 2025 to 2035. I'll go ahead and indicate that we want to look at imports within our graphics. And we can see that nice consumption curve there. Next, we can also engage AI assistants to help us in our work. So if we go to the Editor tab, we can see that we can also interact with our simulations through code in addition to the UI-based editor that I demonstrated a moment ago. There's also this button that says AI Assistant, which gives you information about how to use your preferred AI assistant with the tool. I'm going to demonstrate using the tool today with Claude, but you could use a different LLM if you would prefer. I'm going to go ahead and pull in the link that it mentions in the dialog box to Claude and say, hello. I am working on a Kigali Sim simulation. Please provide the link, and add a recycling policy which has 80% recovered with 80% reused at time of servicing. So we expect a little bit of yield loss through the recycling process, and we're working at the time of servicing to collect that substance. Next, I'm going to go ahead and save my simulation, and then I'll go ahead and add it to my conversation with Claude. And we'll give it a chance to modify our simulation, and we can look at the results together in just a moment. So here you can see that it's pulling in information about how to use the tool effectively, and it's working with the file that we uploaded, making changes. Perfect. So now it's given us the opportunity to download the updated file, so I'll go ahead and do that now. Go back to our Kigali Sim simulation. We'll go ahead and open up the simulation with recycling. And you can see now that it's not only added this new policy here with the information that we provided, but it's also added an additional simulation scenario. So if we go back to imports, we can see that the curve that we saw earlier in terms of imported consumption drops once we add in the recycling policy. From our team at the Schmidt Center for Data Science and Environment, thank you to our partners at the Multilateral Fund Secretariat and every treaty community member we worked with along the way who tested Kigali Sim and provided critical feedback on design and functionality. Get started today at kigalisim.org. If you have any questions, suggestions, or requests, you can reach us at hello@kigalisim.org. Thank you.